Hey, what's up, everybody? We are going to do another mostly sorting tonight. Maybe we'll do a little bit of building, and I'm going to react to the recent Lego Pokemon stuff that came out, the announcements of the 3 different sets and the promo sets. So I'll kind of get in, share my opinions on the theme overall. And if you tuned into the last one, you'll probably know where I'm going to go with a lot of my commentary, just in terms of price and some of the stuff they're putting out, and pretty much echoing what a lot of, at least like the adult community and the people responding on Reddit, a lot of the comments that I read, how they're reacting. So we're gonna get into it. In terms of what I'm sorting right now, I have all these, I showed them last time, these different little cups, and I have like the basic bricks and plates. So, 1x2 plates and 1x2 bricks in all of these, and I set them up so that they're color coded a little bit. Like, I don't have enough to really color code them, so it's like grays and whites, and then kind of warm colors like reds and browns and yellows, and then cool colors. I don't know if anyone else really sorts like this. I just kind of had the idea. They're all on the wall, they're on like pegboards, and I thought it would just kind of look cool. I keep saying I'll take a picture. Maybe I actually will, and share a picture of what that looks like. It's still kind of messy around my space, so that's why I haven't really shared too much. But anyway, so let's just jump right in here. So I'm going to be divvying these up. I'm just going to kind of sort them. You can watch that while I react to these Pokemon sets. So where do we start? Before I get into like each individual set, just kind of reactions, like Lego Pokemon itself. I'm a huge, or was, maybe not so much anymore, Pokemon fan. I grew up with Pokemon, played all the games, or not all the games, but at least played the OG, the blue and the red on Game Boy a whole lot. Sunk a lot of time into that game. And then, just like kind of kept up the series. I remember I played X and Y when that came out. Always dipped back in, Pokemon Go when that was the original craze. I know I got some friends that still play, but just like with time, I kind of fell out of favor of that. I'm gonna start with like reds and yellows and warm colors first as I do this. So let's see. So I was, Lego Pokemon coming together. Very excited to see what they would possibly produce. There was a lot of cool ideas. I was wondering if we would get little Pokemon molds, maybe like, actual like molded figures of little Pokemon. I thought that'd be really neat and just super fun to collect and just, see them in Lego form and just see them in that kind of small form factor. I think there's still room for that to happen. And I think that's what most people are interested in, kind of what I'm describing, I would imagine. And then we got the sets that we got. So, hype was high, but with all this Nintendo stuff, they're just taking a very different direction than I've talked about this before. Maybe it was on the podcast at one point with Mattel, but is the wrong one in there? I talked about it at one point before that, they kind of did this with Minecraft when they started out. They didn't want to do, or they want to do something a little bit different. They went with that micro scale style. They released 4 sets, and they just like did not sell well. From what I imagine, at least like in the aftermarket, they weren't very sought after. So that usually translates to like them not selling well when they are available in the market. I remember they were discounted a lot, and for like such a big marquee kind of brand that they got there, like I never thought that they would land something like that. Now they have like every brand under the sun, so it's like not all that hard to imagine anymore. But at the time, it was like, oh man, this is like a big brand for them, and okay, I guess they're doing something a little bit different. But they pivoted almost immediately, like from those sets and how those went. I got all the warm colors out there. Isn't that just so satisfying? I think that's just so satisfying, breaking them up that way. I've never really seen anyone else do that. I obviously, like, people break them up by color, but the warms and I was trying to figure out a way that I could get these up on the wall in a way that, or up on these pegboards at least, in a way that was like visually appealing while still being a little bit useful. So I took like just some of the most common pieces, and I said like, okay, well, I at least want these pieces up on the wall, and how am I going to divvy them up? And I could have done it by like individual colors, but I would have only been able to do like one style of brick. So I thought this was like a happy compromise, doing it this way. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. You can let me know what you think of this. That'd be kind of cool, because it's just a random thought idea I had. And yeah, it's always interesting to get feedback like that on whether people think it's cool or not. All right, see, that was pretty fast. All we have left are these. We'll throw these in here. Anyway, to wrap up that thought on just like the hype around Lego Pokemon, very excited. Like, I went on a tangent there about Minecraft for a little bit, but they pivoted. They pivoted from Minecraft, and they were like, yeah, that didn't really work. Let's just do regular sets. And then I think the theme started selling well. At least like it's continued for years and years at this point, from the original like kind of botched, not botched, but just not as popular first 4 sets out of the Minecraft. So I'm kind of thinking they're doing something a little similar with Nintendo here. They're like, what can we do? How can we make this a little bit different? Or let's just, it's such a marquee brand. Like, let's try something a little bit different, like the Smart Brick stuff with Mario. Those will be coming to Pokemon sets. That's the rumor. In the future, maybe we'll kind of touch on that a little bit. We talked Smart Bricks a lot in the last segment, or the last one of these that we did. But I'm just gonna put these up on the wall now. Here, maybe this will be a good time. Here, I'll kind of bring you over and show you a little bit of what I got going on here. So, take the step back, and that's my little phone holder up there. It's really nice Duplo construction there. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right there. I think it looks really nice. I wish I didn't put so much space there, right in the middle, but it actually kind of works now for this shot. So I don't know, happy accident, I guess. Now, try to prop you up back there. Cool. That's done. I'll come back and actually talk about the thoughts on Pokemon since I didn't really get too deep into it. Let me come back with, I'm going to do a little bit differently this time from last video on how I'm going to sort these out. So I'll do that in just a minute. See you soon. All right, I'm back. I'm going to try this a little bit differently tonight so I'm not running all over the place. I'm going to just have one sorting bin out at a time and just try to focus on just putting all the pieces I can find in this sorting bin. It might be, I've never really done it this way. It might be a bad way of doing it, but I think it's going to save me from just like kind of being a little scattered all around the room. So let's get started. So actual thoughts on Pokemon. Or kind of finish that thought on Nintendo. So I think there could be a pivot at some point where Nintendo, you know, everything they produce, it's like, okay, let's gauge like how did the Zelda set sell, you know, which was just kind of a normal. I mean, it's huge, so maybe not the best comparison, but how did that sell compared to the Mario stuff, compared to like other Mario stuff they did with Mario Kart? Like, you know, people are just dying for like Mario as a minifigure. I have to imagine, and just reading from comments and just knowing the community pretty well, like that's what everybody wants, and like that's definitely what the adults want. I imagine that's what people want to buy their kids, and definitely like adult fans want to buy their kids. It's like, all right, let's like get them the figures so we can just play with the figures like all the other Lego that we have. So I have to imagine they're eventually going to come around to that. Also, all that kind of out there, that's like my expectation. These sets are like so equivalent to those like Minecraft sets, to everything else they're kind of doing with the Mario license that is just like not good, and you should just kind of hold off and wait. Or that's my take, is like if you really want Lego Pokemon and you're just like, this might be it, this might be all they release, like this can't be it, like it's such a great like deep license that they could dive so far into and do good things with, that I have to imagine they're just like, all right, let's just get that like easy money from the collector market. They'll buy anything, you know, that we put out there. Let's hit them with a big $650 set. And then how much is Pikachu? Is he hanging at like $200? I think $200, 200 euros, similar. And then the Eevee set at like 50. Like, let's just hit them with these big guys, really tap this market, see how much we can tap them for before we get into like this stuff for mass market. So that's my general theory on like their approach. It has to be. I can't imagine this is their end game of like, yeah, we're just gonna make these big statue looking things, and that's all we're gonna release under this license. Like, that would be such a crazy approach. I mean, maybe they'll do it, but I think that'd be a pretty unwise decision. And at least, you know, from a business point, like they'd sell a heck of a lot more if they just produced a thing that seemingly everyone wants in the adult community, and I imagine that trickles down to younger fans as well. Like, I mean, no parent in the right mind who's just a casual, like, oh, my kid kind of likes putting blocks together, is going to look at these and like, oh yeah, $650 for those Pokemon they like. Like, yeah, that's a breaking my finger here. I'm gonna use this. That's a good use of my money for my kids. So definitely, you know, I have to imagine that's the strategy here. So let me just give my opinion. I don't like any of these. I don't think they're cool at all. I think they look pretty ridiculous. I think the coolest thing that they have here is probably the Pokemon Center, and that's pretty disappointing as well. So I'm not going to be friendly to any of these sets. And if you saw my last segment, it's like, you know, I think Lego is just kind of abusing is not the right word, but like, you know, they're just taking advantage of this market of people that will just buy anything, or they think will buy anything. And I'm hoping the market kind of responds to this very negatively, and just, you know, it totally just turns on this and is like, hey, this is actually not what we want. And yeah, you're gonna take a bath on all these things that you produce and all this time you put into a lot of these things. I'd say for the comments that I've read, it's like, for every positive comment, there's like 9 to 10, you know, negative comments. So actually, I don't even think that's fair. I think there's probably like 30 to 1 in terms of positivity and negativity. It's got to be some of the least well-received sets that I've seen in a long time. And like for the full line, like some people are kind of praising the Eevee. They're like, well, at least Eevee looks good, like $50 for Eevee. And it's like, who wants that still? Like, you know, like, I mean, if Eevee's your favorite Pokemon, like, sure, okay, $50 set, like, you lucked out, but I feel like it's like almost like a comparison when like everything else looks like such trash. You're like, oh, well, this one that doesn't look like half insane, you know, it's $50. It's not a horrible price for a Pokemon that I kind of care about. I don't know, like, I do see them selling some Eevees just because people will fall into that trap, but I'm just saying, don't fall into that trap. If you don't like them, you don't think they're cool, just wait around. They'll have to release something better, you know, eventually. What, they'll lose the license, you know, and that would really stink. So hopefully they don't blow it that badly. Let's see. I don't have many positive things to say, so I'll just say, you know, $650, that just falls right into the conversation we were having last time around these really expensive sets. It's just like another expensive set. I mean, even the Pikachu's $200. It's just a crime to ask that much. I don't really. I mean, I just went through the strategy that I think that they were taking, but even with that strategy, like for $650, I feel like they could have like nailed an amazing like, you know, minifig scale something, right? Like what would it be? Like there's so many options. Like I mean, I can't think of a better thing right now, and I haven't been deep into the game in a while, but like a Team Rocket tower or something, you know, like that's not even a good one, but like definitely like a Pokemon Center, like that's an easy one, or like even the whole Kanto region. Like, could you imagine like kind of a minifig? Someone actually said that in one of the comments, like a semi minifig or maybe like microfig. I wouldn't have been mad at that, like a little microfig, like Game Boy top-down view of the you know, what the houses are kind of like that big, and I mean, I'm making it right here with like random parts, you know, like houses are kind of that big, and you just get like the Kanto region, or just like a Pokemon Center and a gym, and give us like little molded figures, man. Give us like little molded Charmander, little molded, like that's what everybody wants to see, just like the little molded cool figures. And maybe, you know, maybe some of them have heads that come on and off, and I don't think they have to. I think they could be completely like, you know, like the Disney, like the Simba and the Dumbo, like give them that treatment. I think that's done pretty well, pretty tastefully. Like, I have to imagine that stuff's coming, but you know, they're rumored to do the Smart Brick stuff. So I mean, that could be either really cool and fun or really lame and expensive. I think there's only one avenue they could go with that. But like, hear me out. So like, the Smart Brick stuff, what they've shown, and at least in the Star Wars sets, more so in the demos that they showed at what was it, CES? Is that yeah, the Consumer Electronics Show, where they showed like the ducks racing and all that stuff. Like that stuff is just primed for like Pokemon like battles and like interacting with a Pokeball and like going in the Pokeball and becoming part of your team. Like I don't know if they could really manage the memory around all that stuff, but definitely like a simulated battle. Like I could see them doing that with like a light. But I don't know. Like I'd rather have a small figure that like looks like Charmander, or like looks like, you know, pick your Pokemon, whatever. I'd rather have it just look like that instead of. I'm like a little worried about the minifigures that I mean, they look like minifigures, but you got to charge them, or you got to I think you have to charge them anyway. The minifigures for those to work, and they just drive up the price. So I'm like, like while that could be a really cool like demo and pretty fun, and it would probably be like really easy to do the way that the at least the sounds anyway, because the way the bricks work, it's all like generated from the synthesizers. It's not like they pre-record anything. So like, I mean, Pokemon's like that's how they did the original sounds for all the Pokemon. So they could easily just like throw in a ton of just like Pokemon noises, and you could have your little Charmander interacting with your little Pikachu or whatever, and they're just like, you know, zapping and trying to light each other on fire, what have you. I mean, I could see that being pretty fun and definitely causing like a lot of buzz. I could see that people getting pretty excited about that. So maybe that's where they eventually go with the Smart Brick sets. But man, just the price on those get me so concerned. Like it's such a trade-off. I think I don't know, that's tough. I think I would lean towards like not having those play features. Even for like my kids, I think I would rather just, you know, if I do put my kid hat on, they would much prefer, like, they don't care about the price. So they're just like, yeah, that'd be so cool. Like, you know, and they don't even really know Pokemon, but I could just imagine them thinking that is so much cooler if they like interacted with each other, especially if they did pretty cool. Like there was some strategy involved to how you place them, or, you know, take whatever they would do with it. Could be pretty cool. So, you know what? I think that would actually be a pretty nice thing that they could do with that theme. And maybe somebody's already come up with that, and that's not an original idea, but that literally just came to me off the top of my head as I was kind of piecing it together, like what those could potentially look like. And like you put them in a gym, you know, they have like little gym battles that they interact with the gym, the Smart Brick at the gym or something. That could be how that works. But as you know, as an adult, as a collector, I could definitely do without that. I understand that side of the community that just wants, you know, not even posability, but just looks and you know, better looking stuff than this. Like the Brick Built, I'm never a fan of Brick Built. Like very few times does Brick Built look good. I think like the Wally set, like the original Wally set, the newer one looks all right too. But the original, am I just totally making it up? I might be thinking of the Brickhead, but all right, I think I'm at least getting bored of looking for these pieces, so I might switch boxes here. We didn't really talk about some of the promos that you get. I did a little bit, but the Kanto Region badge, I mean, man, what a snore. I mean, maybe somebody's excited for that, but of all the things that you could get, of all the cool Pokemon stuff that there is out there, like, they had to have picked one of the lamest things that they could possibly give you. I'll get rid of some of these big things in here now. Probably should have started with this bin. It's like all the big stuff, or some of the big stuff. But yeah, man, I'm with the majority of the community, but I am hopeful. That this is either just part of their strategy, or so poorly received that they have to pivot, and they eventually, well, we know that the Smart Brick stuff's coming, so I guess it's already part of the strategy. Unless, man, if they're not like little molded figures, like minifigure style, but if they're like Brick Built, I guess we've already seen that, right? We've already seen images of brick built Pikachu, I'm pretty sure. I'm getting confused here now. Yeah, I think we have seen what the Smart Brick Pikachu is going to look like, and it looks a little like the blocky figures like Mario. I'm almost positive we've seen that. So I take back what I said. I think they're really going to ruin, but really mess, like if that trade-off, like, hey, just give me a figure that looks like the guy versus one of those blocky figures that interacts like 100% all day, give me the little figure. Like, I don't want that blocky thing that interacts. And you know what? I don't even think my kids, it would be enough for them to super care about it. You know, if I put my kid hat on, maybe, but man, it's like, it's just what everybody wants. It's Lego's bread and butter is like this cool little figures. I thought this would go faster. Now I can't find any of these pieces. The cool little figures. There we go. And like nice little brick buildings, you know, like the Kanto region would have been a cool $650 set. You know, even what they did with the Pokemon Center, I mean, it's a gift with purchase, but I'm hoping they release something a little bit nicer than that at some point, a little larger, you know, with like a minifig style Chansey in there and a Nurse Joy, and you know, what people would expect. Imagine that, like what people would expect the sets to look like. Like they have to do a lot of customer research. I would imagine when they obtain a license like this, unless they try to really keep it under wraps and they're just like totally blind to what people want. But they can't be. Like it's got to all be part of their strategy and how they. Now I'm still looking for the stuff that I was looking for before. Maybe I should leave that other bin. I'm gonna go grab that other bin. I'm gonna wrap this up here soon anyway, because I don't have many more thoughts on the Pokemon stuff. And it's not super original. It's pretty much with the community and how they're feeling about it. Just scrolling through, I mean, there's like an Olivia Rodrigo set coming out. Like, I'm just like, why? What's that? What's that about? Who wants that? It's lots of Star Wars stuff I could react to in the future. But yeah, that was pretty much the news today, was the Pokemon stuff. Wanted to share my thoughts, feelings on that with a little bit of sorting. Let me know if you like this style. Hopefully this was a little more interesting to watch this way than what I was doing last week. That was not the best method, but I'm still figuring it out. So appreciate you tuning in. Always appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe, and leave a comment. There's not many, so I will definitely respond to you and we can have a little chat. So hope to see you in the next one.